Here's a creative deep dive into what happened to the actors cut from Star Trek. Picard Season 3 and their characters, what was lost, what might remain possible, and how the changes reframed the final season. Let me know if you want a version with more speculation or more canon only. What was cut, and who it affected. When Picard moved into its third season, the show dramatically shifted its cast lineup. Several characters introduced or developed across seasons 1 and 2 didn't return to make space for the full Next Generation reunion. The actors cut were Issa Briones Soji / Dodge / Sutra / Corey Soong, Alison Pill, Dr. Agnes Jurati / Borg, Queen Hybrid, Santiago Cabrera, Captain Cristobal Rios, Evan Evagora Elner. So these four were the major non-legacy characters, that is, those not originally from the Next Generation or Classic Trek who didn't make it into Season 3. Why they were cut. The decisions behind these cuts were not arbitrary. There were several intersecting reasons. 1. Budget constraints, including the entire TNG cast: Patrick Stewart, LeVar Burton, Michael Dorn, Gates McFadden, Marina Sirtis, Brent Spiner, Jonathan Frakes, etc. was expensive. According to showrunner Terry Matalas, there simply wasn't the budget to carry all existing characters plus all those legacy stars. 2. Real estate and storytelling. With so many characters, the show had to give everyone meaningful arcs. Matalas explained that to tell the story they wanted in Season 3, which heavily focused on the legacy crew and wrapping up long threads, they needed to reduce the number of continuing non-legacy characters. 3. Creative direction and focus. Season 3 was conceived more as a culmination, a send-off for the Next Generation crew. That meant more screen time for legacy characters, more cameos, more closure for classic arcs. That inherently pushed out some of the newer characters. So it's a mix of economic, narrative, and emotional choices. What happened to their characters? Here's the status of each character post-cut, based on canonical evidence and creator statements. Character final status / where they left things potential for return. Soji / Corey Soong Issa Briones at the end of Season 2. Soji's fate is ambiguous. Synthetics don't always age or die in conventional ways. Corey Soong becomes a traveler, a being that can exist in different times or spaces. Soji's lifespan was always unstable. High possibility. Because of synthetics and time/traveler stuff in Trek, bringing her back is plausible in spin-offs or future content, for example Star Trek. Legacy. Dr. Agnes Jurati / Borg, Queen Hybrid Alison Pill at the end of Season 2. Jurati merges with an alternate reality Borg Queen and becomes this hybrid protecting the Federation. She requests joining the Federation and guarding a trans-warp conduit. Then she's not seen in Season 3. Medium possibility. Her arc was dramatic and left open threads, but with Season 3's focus elsewhere, bringing her back would require considerable explanation. If Legacy or other Trek series revisit that conduit or Borg politics, she could return. Captain Cristobal Rios Santiago Cabrera in Season 2 finale, he stays in the 21st century with Dr. Teresa Ramirez, an emotional send-off. It seems pretty definite that his storyline concluded. Lower possibility, unless via time travel or alternate continuity, the story seems to have tried to close his arc. Elner Evan Evagora Elner is assigned to the USS Excelsior. He was killed or presumed killed when the Excelsior is assimilated by the Borg in Season 3. But later showrunner Terry Matalas clarified that Elner was not aboard the Excelsior when it was lost, so he survived off-screen in effect. Fair possibility. Since his death was avoided off-screen, that leaves room for return. But given his absence from the final season, it seems less likely unless a future storyline involves him. What was lost and what that means? Because these characters were cut, several narrative and emotional threads were either truncated, abandoned, or transformed. Character arcs left unresolved. Jurati's transformation into a Borg Queen hybrid was dramatic, but without follow-up in Season 3, a lot of what might have been explored: her adjustment, her role in the Federation, her relationships didn't occur on screen. Potential interactions wiped out. There was, for instance, a scrap scene in the original finale script where Soji meets Data, her father, in synthetic form, deeply emotional potential which was removed because of scheduling and budget. A change in group dynamics. By removing these core non-legacy characters, The focus shifted heavily onto legacy cast reunion, meaning existing characters got less screen time or less focus, but in exchange the TNG cast got more space and closure. This reframing made the story more about honoring the original crew than exploring the new characters as deeply in Season 3. Fan expectations and disappointments. Some fans felt these cuts were inevitable but still mourned the loss. The showrunner,